Alright guys, this is how to disassemble headlights for inner projector lens swap or retrofit or whatever. This here is an AL headlight, came out of my car, but I'm going to disassemble it so that the ZKW crystal clear inner projector lens can be put in. The lenses are the same exact size, and disassembly for the most part is the same. So to start, once you get the light completely out of the car, first thing, pull the cover back off the projector. Again, the ZKW is a little different here, but disconnect your connection and then hold the bulb in place. And on the ALs, you've got this locking ring. So pull that and then gently and carefully take the bulb out, trying not to bang it up on the sides. Set that aside, and you can see the back of this light, the metal projector bowl, which is what makes the ALs so much better. While we're in here, we'll disconnect the bi-xenon shutter, which is a small connection at the bottom here. It's 3 wires. So pull that off. And then also the high beam, or flash to pass I should say. Turn to the left and pull the whole thing out. And again, I don't remember, but I know the ZKWs are a little bit different there as well. Set that aside. You've got a dust boot on that one, so once you do that, pull the dust boot off. And I like to take all this apart anyway and clean it all up before we put it back together. So once that's done, now we'll take the outer lens off. You've got 6 clips, 3 top, 3 bottom, and 1 here on the inboard side. So we'll pop all of those. And then it usually takes a little bit of working to get it off, but for the most part, it just pulls off. So that's that. Once that's off, set that aside. Alright, now you've got the inner bezel. Again, this is black. Some of the cars have silver. They are completely interchangeable, so if you have one and you want the other, very easy. There's 4 little tabs in the corners, just you know, firm pulls, pull them out. And it just pulls right out. Once you're done with that, you've got the inner side of the headlight. Now, this whole assembly here, the silver assembly, is what moves up and down on the auto leveling. And then in addition to that, you've got your 2 adjustment screws here. So you'll want to turn the headlight, the inner unit, all the way down and all the way forward. The outboard one, this here is a passenger side headlight. The outboard knob does the left to right and the inboard does the up and down. So you'll want to turn them, I think it's counterclockwise is which way you want to go. And they've got Phillips head screws way down in the bottom. This one here, I don't know if you can see it, is all stripped. So if you can't use the Phillips head, a 6mm Allen wrench will fit in there just as well. So for this, I use the power tools. And again, you can watch the light move. Okay, so that's up. So clockwise to go down. And you'll just turn it all the way out. And you'll actually hear it click when it gets to the bottom because it's just a plastic adjusting screw. So there. I could see it. I don't think you can see it in the camera, but I could see it. So that's that. And then again, I'll have to use the Allen head on the outside one here. Okay, so this one's clockwise. And I never remember which way to go, but obviously you can turn them and you'll see. So you'll just turn this so that it's all the way. It looks like this outer portion is moving out, but if you were looking at the headlight beam, it would be adjusting it in towards the middle of the car. So once you get these all the way out, okay, not moving anymore, so I think that's all the way. Now comes the fun part, the hardest part of this, and I don't know if you can see it. Inside there, you're kind of looking from the projector, the HID bulb side of the light. You're looking in the middle between the 2 bulb housings. At the bottom, you'll see a little rod connected with like a ball joint, and that black thing kind of in the middle. You can't really see it or maybe you can, I can't tell. That is the adjustment arm for the auto leveling feature. And basically what you need to do is spread open the ball joint with a flathead screwdriver and then pop the headlight off of the ball joint. So what I do is I get in from this side with the screwdriver and I simultaneously kind of grab the whole unit from the bottom and I sort of twist it up, which lets it pop off that ball joint. It takes a little bit of time, but it eventually does pop off. So again, screwdriver in from the back side. You just kind of put it in there, put it in flat, and then I twist it this way, which spreads the two arms. So get that in there. And it takes enough force that when it does come free, it may go flying, so you kind of got to hold on to it. So that's that. I know it sounded like the whole thing just busted apart, but it didn't. These arms, which are what connect to the two adjusting screws, the outboard one, it goes like this and then it goes in there. This one just falls off, so that's all that was. This one here stays connected. There's a ball joint here, but that can stay connected, no problem. So now you've got the inside of the light, and again, if you've got ZKWs, it'll look a little different. Most of this will be, I believe, inside. I don't really remember, but basically the same thing. The auto leveling motor is the same, and everything else. So once you're done with that, I recommend to wipe it out, clean everything when you take it all apart since you're in there. And then from there you've got to take the actual projector unit apart. Again, this is the metal AL unit. The ZKW, of course, is the wonderful plastic. So for this, I use power tools because I'm lazy, but on this one, there's 3 screws that hold the projector to the back of the frame. You'll have to take those out. But before you can do that, this outer trim where it says Xenon, that has to come off. That mounts on the front and then everything else pulls out the back. So for this, and this is almost the same on the ZKWs, if you look down in either side, you'll see 2 little plastic clips, and you just kind of get in there and pop them out. I'm gonna use a smaller screwdriver. Again, I don't know that you can really see this, but when you're doing it, it's a lot more obvious. So you just pop one tab, then you pop the other tab, and then once you do that, the whole thing just comes off from the front. Set that out of the way. So there it is. Again, this looking a little different than if you're doing this with ZKWs, but same principle. So now again, we want to take the whole thing apart. Take these 3 screws out here, 2 on the bottom, and 1 on the top on the outboard portion, and then the whole thing lifts right off. Set that aside for just a second. I just want to show you, on opposite corners you'll see these little red, they're actually like rubber bumpers. So when I put this back together, and I'll go over this again, I'll do this screw first because it goes down tight, and then these, you just tighten them until you compress that rubber a little bit. And again, we'll look at that again. So that's done out of the way. So now you've got the projector assembly, which this is an AL, so it looks a little bit different. We want to take the lens off so that we can get in there and get the actual glass out. And this one here is a slightly different size Torx. Those first 3 were a T25, and this is T20. And again, ZKW is a little bit different, so, but you'll pull out 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the whole thing comes off. All our screws out of the way here so we don't lose everything. So you should have 3, at least with ALs, 3 big screws and 4 of these little finer pitch guys. So set those aside. Here is the projector bowl. This is the bi-xenon shutter. Again, you've got a solenoid here that pulls in and opens the shutter. And we know it's on the bottom, but the light comes out on top, and that's due to the refraction and the way the light changes going through the lens and bouncing off the inner reflector bowl. So that's that. And again, while you're in here, you'll find, surprisingly, there's a lot of dust and almost like a smoky haze in the lights if they've been in there a while. Take a little bit of glass cleaner and a microfiber, wipe out the projector bowl, clean the lens inside and out. This one's already been cleaned because I've already had these apart, but clean the lens so that you've got it all cleaned up. It'll really improve your headlight output. So on these, the ALs, taking these lenses out, what you'll want to do is get a flat screwdriver. I think you may even be able to, no, can't do it by hand. So get a flat screwdriver. You'll see inside there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs, and then there's a big C-clip that holds it all in. So you'll want to bend the tabs up straight. Try not to puncture your hand. This probably isn't the safest way to do this, but I'm trying to do this so that you can see it on the camera. So, and again, I'm just pushing them so that they're flat and in line because the lens does slide out from the back side here. Okay, so once all 5 of those tabs are straight, I can already feel it's a little loose. Get in there with a smaller screwdriver and just pop open, or pop out, I should say, this C-clip. You just kind of work around it, slowly sliding it out until you can completely take it out. Once you've done that, out comes the lens, and then the ZKW lens, which, let's see if you can see this. You should be able to see there's a line down the middle. It's very obvious when it's in the car. The ZKW lens doesn't have that line, and it's also crystal clear, as opposed to this, which has a little bit of like a fogged look to it. This one not so much because it's clean, but you'd be surprised how much better it gets. And again, the ZKW lenses are even better than that. So once you do that, installation is the reverser removal. So that's that. I'll do another video with the reinstallation of everything. And that's that. All right, thanks.